That's it, yeah. Because one of the things you usually talk when you do these things is don't look at the camera. Yeah, so first question is, you definitely want me to look at the camera? Right, okay, that's fine. So the person I want to talk about today is probably somebody you haven't heard of, you won't find much in the history books about, but they've influenced my work and they influence our everyday life even now. So her name is Katharine Blodgett. She was born in 1897 in New York State. Soon afterwards, her family moved to France, where she spent most of her youth, but she went back to America to study. And I guess the first thing that's particularly relevant is that during her master's, her work and her research project was on the absorption of toxic gases onto charcoal, which is something that people hadn't looked at before, but was absolutely essential, given that this was World War I time, in terms of gas masks. But of course, her project and her work wasn't actually published until after the war, because it was secret. She then went on to Cambridge University, was the first person to get, first woman to get a PhD from Cambridge University, 100 years ago now, and then moved back to the States, where she worked as the first woman scientist at General Electric, working with a guy called Irving Langmuir, who had been a colleague of her father's, who sadly was murdered 1 month before she was born, but he had been an attorney at GE. She worked on, first of all, making very thin molecule thick films, which were intended to stop reflection from glass. So if you pick up a normal piece of glass, there's always some reflection to it. And she was able to stop that, making it more efficient in transmitting light. That's kind of where her work in my life started to come together, because when I did my PhD, I worked in a group where some people were working on the sort of films that she'd started making. They were known as Langmuir Blodgett films. And then later on, she went on to form very hard coatings, which first of all can again control light, but also increase the hardness and toughness, resilience of glass. And of course that's still used to this day. The glasses that I'm wearing are coated, camera lenses, telescopes, car windscreens all use that technology that was developed by her.